Once a long, long time ago, there was a preview for a movie called Jason Takes Manhattan, and fans of the Friday the 13th series like myself went freaking nuts. All right, we're going to see Jason hacking his way through the city. It's going to be a change of sorts. We're going to have a lot of fun with this movie, man. It gave us a promise that it did not keep, because most of this movie took place on a freaking boat. And I got to tell you, a lot of us were like, oh, come on, really? And we thought of better ways this movie could be made. And I always wish somebody would go and just make a good Jason Takes Manhattan. And somebody just did. So kick back, relax, let's get this party started. Now, I'm going to try to talk our way through this book, and we're going to review it as we go. I got to talk about the covers as well. You know, I like to. And this, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, this isn't as attractive. It doesn't draw the eye for a shelf. I love the fact that it works with telling you what's going to happen in the book. But I don't know if this is really a, hey, look at me kind of cover. It's all right. It's not a bad cover, but not my favorite of the series, if I'm being honest. All right. And thanks to Elliot Kalan for writing it, Andrea Moody for drawing it, and everybody else who worked on it. So the book just starts right off. We're in Times Square. Everything is awesome. And I'm telling you, we get this told in flashback. Like, this is a few years ago. And Harry came on, he killed a whole bunch of people. And even though it looked like he got shot up, he's now on the loose. And this sets up, we get two cops. One is drunk. She's called Snitch because she turned on her partner after he, well, we'll find out. And then you have the new cop who comes in to be on the Harry task force, but nobody wants to work with her. They think it's a dead end kind of job. So they're all making fun of her. They're making fun of both of them. So this is a trope right out of horror movies, man. We've seen it before. We've seen this thing before. And I think that's part of the charm of this. When you're reading this story, do not expect anything new. And I'll just get that out there as far as all 5 issues are concerned, because this is a trope from beginning to end as far as this whole thing is concerned. I mean, you get the bickering cops, the one that says, I'm not going to be on your task force with you. And then, of course, she joins the task force. There's just so much here that it really does follow a slasher film. I especially like the cliffhanger here as Harry finds his way onto a subway, and this woman who was wishing, why doesn't Harry kill him or her? Oh my gosh, I wish he would come and kill everybody. He does. And now she's pooping her pants. Get to the second cover. I got to tell you, I love this one. This is probably my favorite cover of the series, as we see Harry in his apple bottom jeans with a fur on the lining here. And he's got the bloody machete. We see the subway train. Not only is it awesome, but it is indicative of what you're about to see, because this issue really does start right where the first one left off, where everybody sees Harry coming in. It's like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And they start running. Now, the woman that we met who's wishing death on a whole bunch of strangers, she's actually going to be our protagonist as far as the people who are on the train. And I guess that's a way of putting that, like, even victims are not perfect people. The cops go and they interview this old man. He wrote a book about Harry, all the stuff he could find out about him, and he's considered the expert on it. So they're talking, he gives a little bit of background, and they're saying, yeah, we know this stuff, but are we really any further in finding out who he is? We get to the train, and basically Harry's cut a swath. The mayor finds out about it, and he's like, okay, you know what? The people on the train are dead. We can't do anything for them. So let's just contain them and maybe stop any further outbreak of violence. And we find out on the train, however, the only survivors is the lady from the end of the first issue and 2 kids. Well, the 2 lady police officers are feeling a little bit drained, and they find out that Harry is on this train, and they want to go get him, but the mayor's like, no, you can't do it. And of course they say, well, maybe we can. And then we see the girl and the kids facing down Harry. Also, this is probably my second favorite cover right here. Just entertaining. It's just very enjoyable. And so we get to the 3rd issue. and we get the backstory. We get the accidental killing that, well, it looked like it was on purpose. She turns on her partner, and that's why she's called Snitch, and that's why nobody respects her. And we get Harry chasing the woman and the kids and everything. And this is a very visceral issue. This is very much an action issue. And I think they do it all right. I really do. I think there's a sense of tension there that a book like this would need, and it kind of works as far as all that's concerned. It's hard to do with a comic book because you sometimes have 2 pages and it's like, okay, I can see what's coming up. So it's hard to do horror. This is a slasher though. So if it can create an atmosphere of dread, if it can create the adrenaline rush, I think it'll do fine. It's very hard to do horror in comic books. Some people can do it very well. This one, I think, does it all right, as we're seeing the women try to get to Harry before he kills before he kills everybody. They do get on the train, of course, and you know what, from here on in, I do have to tell you, if this is, you're going to get spoilers. You already got some, but there's major spoilers ahead, so be very careful. Oh, all right. Sorry, spoilers. Gabriella, guys. All right, so we do see what happens to the young lady who was protecting the kids, and the cops are there to stop. But anyway, we get to possibly the worst of the covers. I don't know what that's supposed to be. It's Harry's mask on the wrist. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know. Anyway, this book starts off as we see Harry's first kill. A couple of people make it to a cabin in the woods. There's Harry, and he kills him. And then we see that basically the whole issue here is the 2 cops now trying to protect the kids as well as save themselves and stop Harry all at the same time. I'm telling you guys, this book is just like what we all wanted Jason Takes Manhattan to be. So if you are a fan of the Friday the 13th show, man, you got to be enjoying this, right? So I got to admit. Now, I did have a few problems as we went along, but nothing that was a turnoff. Like the writing for a slasher film is hardly Shakespearean. And so we kind of get that here. The killer does get away, just like in Friday the 13th. There's going to be a volume 2 coming up. And there's a lot of stuff, like I said, that just kind of mirrors 1980s slasher films. And look, I love the Friday the 13th series. I truly do. I watch them all the time, at least once a year around this time of year. And I got to tell you something, at least I understand that these are not good movies, kids. These really aren't. But they're damned enjoyable. And sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes all it takes is a really good and enjoyable movie, or in this case, comic book. So what we get is we get the big old wrap up in issue number 5. Harry got away in issue number 4. A lot of people died, and because they were there, the 2 cops become scapegoats of sorts. Definitely the blonde, the one that is the head of the task force. She definitely becomes a scapegoat for what happened. And in the end, she loses her job, and it's kind of, yeah, I get it. I get it. They need to throw somebody to the wolves, and she's the one that was on the train, so why not, right? And these days, the blonde is easier to do than the brunette. Overall, I think it wraps up kind of nicely. I got to admit, I was like, wait, this is how you're ending it? Because I did expect them to have an ending, kind of like a horror movie ending. The thing is, Harry got away. In the 1980s horror films, they never got away. They were killed temporarily. They were killed. And so kind of you had a good ending to the story before you went on. Here you get a little bit of more of a backstory as the old man contacts the blonde. You get an idea of what's going to happen with the kids after their traumatic experience. and you do get an idea of what's going to happen with the cop and everything. And it's all setting up for volume 2. And in all honesty, yeah, okay, I'm down. I'm definitely getting volume 2. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, ring that notification bell if you haven't done it already, making sure that you click, what am I trying to say? Making sure that you set your notifications on all. And if you don't mind helping out the channel, going over to Ko-Fi, the link is in the description below. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.